Okay, time for our pre-recording touch base. Just have a couple notes to go over.
Okay.
First off, great work, everyone. We're killing it with the downloads, especially on Epstein's Island, Little St. James, doing some real
Ooh.
numbers out there. Along those lines, Matt, I don't think it's in our best interest to use our qualified nonsense social media pages to share your legal defense fund for Diddy.
Ah,
Okay.
Secondly, Jake, it's
Yep.
getting increasingly more difficult to edit around the racial slurs. If you
Okay.
could keep those to a minimum, it would be great.
Fair enough.
And just looking at numbers, we're really strong in the never married white male FBI watch list demo.
oh yeah.
On the other hand, we're very, very weak in the normal female category. In fact, we're at 0 listeners with them. So I was thinking maybe we could do a segment on, I don't know, dish soap or some bullshit like that.
Whoa.
As always, let's just go out there and try to have a little fun. My
All
name's
right.
Brandon,
I'm Matt.
I'm Jake.
and this is Qualified Nonsense.
God damn.
You should put like coaching music behind that or something.
Oh man. That came in with such high energy, Brandon. That was by far our highest energy
I'm
intro.
ready to go knock some heads.
Yeah. Although any
Or
normal
some-
women that might listen to that intro are going to come at us, and
See, I had something that
they should do.
I had something I would have normally said, but since we're so low with their demographic, I won't say it because that would be rude and distasteful.
Okay.
So
All right.
hopefully we're
Leave it at
hopefully
that
we're
then.
trending.
Keep it to yourself.
Apparently, I have to keep the racial.
That will never. That soundbite will never not be funny. Oh, goodness gracious!
What movie
Well,
is it from? I've never seen the movie.
I'd be surprised
some-
if even Brandon's seen it.
60s movie. I could find it if you give me a couple seconds.
60s.
Actually,
it's
it's
about,
probably
that's
like a
about
John
20
Waters
year-
movie that you have seen.
60s is about 30 years older than what Brandon's into.
I know a bitch when I see one.
The Gay Deceivers from 1969 is the name of
Oh.
it.
It was made in '69 too. Damn,
Yeah.
Damn, what a year.
the piece of the resistance. What that director needed to really complete his portfolio.
What Bruce Kessler could use to fill out his IMDb profile.
Next week we're gonna
He's
show
a-
up and Brandon's like,
oh.
side note, I watched The Gay Deceivers.
Well, now I'm reading about the director. He was a race car driver.
Oh,
Like he, interesting.
huh.
All right, stay in it.
Oh, he entered hospice care on March 31st, 2024.
Jesus Christ.
How old was he?
That
88.
actually takes us to my section.
Yeah,
Hospice.
Jake, your intro the last week was from Brandon. Jake's stares into nothingness, morbid doom, or whatever he said.
No, that ain't me. I don't know what you're talking about.
You did just get back from overseas, Jake, right?
I did. Yeah, I was in Portugal, and that was exciting. I've never been.
How
It
meat
was-
heavy was everything over there? Is it meat heavy?
So it might have been, but I was staying at a resort that my
Ooh.
company leased out or bought out or whatever, and since it's an eco conscious company, it was mostly vegetarian. So I ate mostly vegetarian and vegan food, which was shockingly delicious. But aside from that, it was fun. I mean, I just did a bunch of work. It was a really nice resort. I'll have to send you the guys the pictures.
Was there
Maybe
anybody
we'll
that
post.
protested that? It was like, hey, I'm in Portugal. I'd really like some like nice meat. Or
No, they did have a couple of dishes with chicken, but all in all, there was dessert in every meal, which might have helped, but
Fair
to quell any of the protests. But it was really, really solid food. Like I feel like oftentimes vegetarian and vegan food, it might be tasty, but usually it's just sort of like the same note or the same flavor. And it just wasn't. It was like super dynamic, super tasty food of like fresh, vegetables and cooked different
Cool.
ways.
How long did it take? Oh, go ahead.
Were you with like your work cohort the whole time, or were you able to explore on your own? Or
Yeah, I wasn't really. No, not really. We were in a city called Faro, or outside of a city called Faro, which is on the south western
far
side
away
of.
from anything you want to do?
Yeah, exactly. And we flew into Lisbon. Matt, to answer your question that I think you were going to ask was how long it took. It was a couple hours to DC, and then it was I want to say 7 or 8 hours in the plane to Lisbon, and then 2.5 hours in a bus to the place. So it was a lot of travel. But they rented out this sort of like schmancy golf course resort, and we had the whole place. So it was pretty exclusive, and it was all with the people that I,
Did it really turn into like one of
colleagues.
those band conventions where you're like slapping each other in the chest and like screaming at each other in the face?
Luckily, no. But it was
Shoving broomsticks up each other's asses.
Yeah, that was just the after party stuff. But the
that's the ayahuasca trips.
The company stuff was all like philosophical and I don't know, it was really interesting. My company did a pivot from being specifically ecologically conscious to ecologically conscious and heavy into AI, which at face value is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. At face value, it's pretty contradictory, but it's AI makes things more efficient, frankly, especially in an industry setting. And so if you apply AI to some really poor business practices, you can make it more efficient and thus make it more ecologically friendly. Anyway, a lot of kumbaya and let's be a better company.
Anyway, what drinks did you slam? Did you see any iguanas?
Guys, I've been out of the game with alcohol. Like I had a couple of beers while I was there. They have a tasty lager called
I'll Google it.
Shit. Yeah. Google
it. Is it Portugal or Spain that does the red wine and Coke?
I think that's is that Spain?
That's Spain. That's I think that's a Spain thing.
Much like I texted Brandon earlier this last week, and I was like, "Hey, speaking of wine and Coke, I made an old fashioned with Dr. Pepper." Yeah, I know you do that, Jake, Mister.
Wait, no. Where does it go? Where does it? Yeah.
So Kirkland makes a pre-made, ready-to-drink old-fashioned mix. It has bourbon, has everything in it. And I poured it in there, and I had also realized, like, oh, I actually just cracked this Dr. Pepper. It's like, interesting. Like, those are very deep and rich flavors. I wonder if, and I mixed it together. I liked it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds
it's very
good because,
but I like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That checks out.
I don't know.
I was just sort of thrown off by what's in an old fashioned again? Whiskey and a squeeze of.
It's a bourbon and bitters and orange and
simple
cherry.
Syrup.
Yeah,
simple syrup. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That sounds like it would go nicely
if you're getting fancy with it.
Or have you seen it in Wisconsin? It's a popular thing at like the supper clubs. They have brandy old fashioned, but they're in like gigantic tumbler glasses, but it's with brandy instead of bourbon or whiskey.
Ooh.
What do you guys think about brandy? I think that's disgusting.
Well, it depends on the brandy.
I feel had enough to form an opinion on it.
I don't know. Like, have you had Hennessy once, or like, have you had a cognac once, and know that like that's the style? And you're like, that's not for me, or yeah, I really like that. I feel like
Well, I don't know that I think brandy, like cognac, is a very specific kind of brandy, but brandy I think runs the gambit because all it is alcohol made from fruit. Or
Isn't
no, I'm
Hennessy
sorry.
kind of syrupy? Or
It's just
Hennessy?
what am I
gross.
thinking of?
Hennessy, I think, has. Well, I guess I'm thinking of like B&B is kind of syrupy, which is like Benedictine and brandy.
Oh, not M&D, Mogan David. Mad Dog 2020.
2020. My neighbor, I think I've said before, he stills and he makes brandy. He made a pineapple brandy, which
Dude,
basically.
don't out your guy for stilling in his garage. Jesus.
No, no.
They know where you're editing from. They can look at your IP address.
I know all the listeners. The FBI is going to come down hard. They're going to be like, finally, we got him.
Bring all those employees back.
But it's really good. Oh, actually, no. It's only illegal if you distribute or something else.
killer.
I forget what it is.
Let's go.
Volume.
It's only
maybe?
illegal if the cops find out.
Yeah. What about you guys? What'd you get up to this last week?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, we're going out of town this weekend, and so we've been. One of my mother-in-law's friends is coming up from some of the Southern Oregon and staying with her while we're going to be gone, and so we've just been cleaning and doing yard work and stuff.
Golden girls in your house.
Yeah, I
Minus
did.
one.
Saw a couple movies. Yesterday I saw Friendship, the Tim Robinson movie.
Oh, how was it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Nice. I keep seeing the ads for it. I was like, oh man, this I don't really know. It kind of made it seem like it was almost a thriller or like a dramedy and then a comedy, and I don't know. The trailer kind of threw me off.
Yeah, basically like a long, uncomfortable. I think you should leave sketch.
Oh.
That sounds horrible.
I mean, I don't really laugh a lot at movies, but I was laughing at it. I don't know, something about his face and the way he delivers lines just makes me laugh.
He is a comedy, like he's a comedian. He's born to be a comedian.
Yeah. And then actually like 30 minutes before we were set to record, I got out of They Live at the theater.
What's They Live?
John Carpenter movie with Roddy Piper.
Oh, cool.
About where basically the aliens have taken over Earth and they control everything and they push humans to consume and to be greedy and
he's got those
self-centered
glasses that season,
and
right?
then, this group invents these glasses so you can see who's an alien and like what the like secret messages and advertising and things are.
Oh, yeah.
And
they the fight scene in that between the two wrestlers or former wrestlers or actors, I don't they seemed like wrestlers, but they showed that in fight choreography class because of how important it is to sell the fight. So less important it is to get like the perfect moves and more important it is to sell the fight.
It's so long. It goes on for it's like
so
6
long.
minutes long.
I wonder if surely there's a Reddit group already dedicated to this, but like I feel as though his movies would be best consumed altered in a state. You know, if you want to have marijuana or Molly or whatever, mushrooms or even drunk. It's like there has to be a lot of conversation around that. That's got to be like one of the most weird experiences to have.
I don't know that I've even seen any John Carpenter movies.
Any of them? You never saw the Escape movies from New York or L.A.?
Oh wait, no.
Big Trouble in Little China?
Or,
no, never mind. I was thinking of a different director. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen John Carpenter movies. Who's the guy who made oh damn it, the thin guy with the razor thin mustache?
John Waters.
John Waters.
John Waters. I don't think I saw it. I don't think I've ever seen John Waters movies. I realize they're different.
His were
Please
a bit more
forgive me
obscure.
for making the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched all of these movies sober and I enjoy them, but Yeah, they definitely give off a vibe of like a lot of them, especially like kind of more the early 80s, like late 70s, early 80s. Like it seems like you should have like drink like a 6-pack of Miller Lite or whatever, and like smoke a pack of cigarettes while you're watching them. Like,
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, isn't that how you said he used to show up to like symphonies when he would perform? Like, just he would just be like,
Yeah, like not say anything and just have a cigarette in his mouth and just start playing on the synthesizer.
And he's openly said the only thing he wants to do in life now is smoke weed and play video games,
Yeah.
like quote unquote. It's like, my man. That's what
I'm
Yeah. How about your week, Matt? Nothing too exciting, except for you getting sick.
I'm getting yeah. At the time of
Yeah,
recording
if you
here,
hear-
I'm getting sick, and I turn 40 in a few days, and I leave for Las Vegas in 2, so I'm really hoping to kick this. If you notice breaks in the podcast, it's because I have to stand up to pee every 15 minutes from drinking so much water.
which is great. Good for you for drinking a lot of water. I'm in a perpetual state of dehydration.
Yeah,
and
water in quotes.
yeah, that was a great timing.
It's the base.
It's mostly water. It's 95% water.
Look, I'm sending live fermentations into my body to go kill the virus.
Wow, you're so new age.
Or the alcohol will neutralize the
The
virus.
alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol. This one has more hops.
Another timing.
I thought we were gonna let that one go.
I'd like to buy this alcohol, sir.
Oh man.
Well, let this be a lesson to the kids watching. That's like, will I ever hit puberty? The answer to that question is maybe. Maybe.
Perhaps.
Also, speaking of
You
your
got a 1 out of 3 chance.
you're turning 40, I feel like every time I laugh now, it's longer and longer that there's no sound. It's just a whistle coming out of my throat.
But there's also kind of a squeak out of the other end, like when you're like,
yeah. Well, I'm also trying not to shit myself.
Yeah, I feel like when I laugh really hard, I do like as I get
You're
older,
like,
like the Dom DeLuise, like the like that kind of
Yeah.
you still ain't got that kind of time left on the lungs. That's fine. They'll be fine. What is it about that? Like, what takes the breath away from you? It's like,
Now I'm self-conscious.
or like when you have to like stand up and you go, "Oh God," or like,
yeah, see, that's not just dad noises. That's age noises. Like, oh, yeah. It takes a lot to get out of this chair.
I think
like
I think it runs
sighing for no
parallel.
reason.
I think it runs parallel to saddling up to a urinal and just letting it rip and just being like, "Well, this is who I am."
We talked about this. Yeah,
I know.
That's a
I
thing.
know. There's a trend. We're gonna have to update our like whole podcast description, like the super title of our podcast is gonna have to change a little. Age.
well, do you want to get into some questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a little break.
Let's do it.
All right, be right back. And welcome back. Feel free to drop us a line at qualifiednonsense@gmail.com or connect with us on our socials. Also, we should probably plug the Patreon. Just $5 a month. You get some bonus content.
Wink.
Feels like these days everything's going up in price. Not our Patreon. Keeping it the same.
Nope.
It's
Price.
a bargain.
That's our commitment to you, the listener.
Prices
keep those
stay the same.
Prices low.
Pants
And also-
go down, not up.
None of us remember the password, so we wouldn't be able to increase the price if we tried.
But now's the time on the show where we take on Reddit's most pressing questions by finding the top trending questions and answering them here. First question comes to us from the subreddit AskMenOver30
Oh boy.
from username Visionary Schmisionary. Uh, they write, "Do all men fantasize about violence?
Oh,
I hope the men of the Ask Men Over 30 can help settle a debate I've been having with my husband, age 42. He insists that all men, on the basis of being men and having testosterone, etc., think about acting violently. He claims that even the most mellow of men will, if pushed hard enough or far enough, fantasize about violent responses to solve a conflict. What say you? Is this an exaggeration, or does it have a grain of truth?"
so yeah. Here's the thing about that. I think every person fantasizes about like, God, what if this person weren't alive? And that would I would consider like a violent thought. I think that everybody, it doesn't matter man or woman, but I will put on this. I think a lot of dudes do fantasize and get aggression out in like Grand Theft Auto form, or going and watching Falling Down and being like, yes, that's what I would do at my construction site because it's relatable to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think through like works of fiction and things I mean, there are violent scenes in movies and TV shows that are satisfying to watch, or um I think I don't know. I think violence is usually like the most kind of dramatic and drastic response to a situation. So, like, I think men like drama more than they let on.
Oh, that's
Also fair.
interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know, Jake. You like drama?
Yeah, I like some drama.
I spit some Shakespeare here and there.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, I don't know, just inherently, like, we like watching like shows and movies with gunfights or with fist fights or whatever.
For sure.
I do
Oh, go ahead.
wonder
Jake.
about that with the whole chicken and egg thing, because media plays such a large role in our lives and our developing lives. I wonder how much that has influenced, and it's just sort of snowballed into sort of like a persona, or not a persona, but like influencing what people are driven towards. But actually being violent, I mean, like, there's a difference between actually being violent and fantasizing, and I guess the question specifically is about fantasizing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are a lot of guys who like they think, "Oh, wouldn't it be so cool if somebody broke in here right now and I could grab the fireplace poker and then use, like
Yeah.
that
no.
kind of thought." Or
I would
like a lot of people fantasize about like the zombie apocalypse happening just so they can shoot people in the head or whatever.
Right.
I would like to rewind this a little bit, like, or unwind it a little bit and make it a little bit more broad. And this might not be a very popular take, but just the inherent difference between boys and girls. Having have them myself now, I have girls. I've been around plenty of boys, and I was like, man, there are so many things that are just like uniquely boys. They want to be dirty, and they want to, like, sure, there are the standouts that don't want to do that, but there's just so many uniquely things of like, boys are inherently like, they'll go jump off that thing because it just seems fun, or they want to play with this thing with wheels because it just seems fun. I think there's also something to play in that when the question is like, do men inherently think? And I was like, yeah, because men are men that identify as men. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
Like, I do think there's something that's like uniquely masculine about that. Of, oh man, can you imagine just putting like a pickaxe through his throat? Like, cool. I don't know any women that would say that.
At the same hand, like I don't really have any desire to like fight in war or be part of a battle or anything.
But you never have, and that's your personality, though.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you'll laugh at all the jackass stuff, which is like, another kind of a thing. But yeah, you're never violent. You've never been violent.
Matt, to your point, I have two boys, and they, from a very young age, we attempted to tailor their media consumption so that it wasn't so overtly violent. And they were, from a very young age, they were picking up sticks and making them into guns without Anna and my understanding really how that came to pass.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really, for those that are listening, you're not a family that's like cowboy Indians, kind of a, just a boys will be boys kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You're just you let your kids explore, but that came without any like contribution.
Right. Yeah. So it is interesting that there are, but again, I mean, that's the other thing is like, especially when maternity and paternity leave is over, which in the United States is abysmal anyway, but they spend so much time with perhaps the majority of their waking time, or certainly a significant part of their waking time with other people. It goes back to the whole chicken and egg thing, because I don't know where they get a lot of the things that influence them. I mean, accents is a really good example to point to, it's because oftentimes kids will not have the accents of their parents; they will have the accents of their peer group, and that is really, I mean, that's fascinating as far as like what influences people.
Yeah.
So I wonder that about violence, it being so ingrained in our sort of media society.
I mean, I don't agree with this person's husband that even the most mellow of men will, if pushed hard enough or far enough, fantasize about violent responses to solve a conflict. Because I do think there are people who just, the they updated the fight or flight thing to include freeze. It's fight, flight, or freeze.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are people who would flee or freeze in a lot of situations, and just naturally.
That makes sense.
Even though, like, maybe, you do in your head think, oh yeah, it'd be so awesome to beat this guy's ass, but then in real life it's like, oh well, he has a gun and I don't, and I don't want to die
there.
So.
Yeah.
It is interesting also that you mentioned that, Brandon, about men liking drama more than they let on. Is that it also takes it takes a clarity of mind and a sort of a reflection of like the whole picture not to act violently in situations where you're in what I guess would be a fight or flight or freeze situation. But a lot of times people act violently. I know in my past, when I have acted violently, it hasn't been necessarily me being violent. It was me not being equipped to handle my emotions in that moment, and usually it's emotion, like it's a high emotion, and it's really easy to get angry, and it's really easy to be violent, and that's the easy way out, rather than sitting with whatever complex feelings or emotions or situation that you might find yourself in.
Well, that's why you tackle those every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., Jake. As you lay down on the couch. It's just so easy to get violent. I'm kidding. That was a therapy joke.
I live with a therapist, so
I know. That's why I
get it. I get it day in and day out. Guys, my emotional vocabulary has grown so much since Anna has become a
Wait, what's emotional vocabulary?
Like having words to describe how I'm feeling, that sort of shit.
Like angry,
like
or
how people
sad,
talk
or
on
happy.
TikTok.
You don't know those?
Yeah, those. Man, angry, sad, happy, hungry.
Ain't you ever seen Inside Out? You got 2 kids. Come on, just put them into a ball. You got it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
What are some of the top answers there, Brandon?
Yeah. Top one here says, I mean, duh, how else am I supposed to die dramatically bleeding out in a snow-covered field?
See? My man.
Yeah.
Or
there's
woman.
that cinematic element.
We don't know who did it
for sure.
There's someone that posted this meme. It says, "Them, you only go to Valhalla if you die in battle. Me, in my final moment, throws a juice box at the hospice nurse."
That's how I would want to go out. Ah!
That'd be so metal if you showed up in Valhalla after doing that. You'd be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Can't let you in. Hit Janice with your juicy juice.
The only reason why you're in here is because she was pissed.
This person
You
said,
killed
if
her at the same
violence is
time.
not on your list of problem-solving skills, then you lack imagination. The list should be very long and violence should be near the end, but it must be there. It may be last on the list, but it should be there, male or female. The alternative is to be a victim.
That's a lot.
Uh,
Yeah,
Come on.
that
Can't say all
person
that in
is.
one like just cohesive sentence. I would say
How long do you think
it
it
should
took that
always be an
person to
option
compose it?
because it's kind of fun to think about. It's a form of escapism, and yeah, but doesn't mean you're a victim. I'm not gonna put that blame on somebody.
I guess my question for all of these people is like, if not violence, then how do they get their murder boner?
Yeah. Fair question.
and this was just an old saying, but it goes something like, you can't truly call yourself peaceful unless you're capable of great violence. If you're not capable of violence, you're not peaceful, you're harmless. And then this person responded saying, you guys are so corny.
Yeah, I definitely
Probably.
I gather that the composition of a couple of these answers are quite poetic.
It's kind of along the lines of like, don't threaten me, I'll come. like,
I just, yeah, to me, it seems like, you think like, oh, somebody breaks in, I'm going to beat their ass or whatever. But then, like, if you do hear a noise in the middle of the night, to me, it's always like, oh God, what's going on? This seems like it's going to be such an inconvenience. And
yeah. I noticed
like,
that
I
too.
don't feel like throwing myself into a violent situation. I'm more like, oh, does this really have to be happening now?
I use it's like, oh, what running toilet is that? Oh God, it's like,
Burglar, this is super inconvenient for me.
Can you come
Or
back
like-
in the morning?
never fail. The fucking
I've
smoke
gotten my
alarms
12
start
hours.
chirping at 2 a.m.
The what?
The smoke alarms, they start chirping
yeah.
at 2 a.m. They'll never do it just like randomly throughout the day. It'll be when
No.
you're sleeping, you're like, oh, I could try to fall asleep in between these 3 minutes of it actually going off. But, God damn it. Oh, those are good.
Well, yeah.
Should we
So
hop on
kind
to,
of a mixed bag.
You know what?
Yeah,
You
let's-
choose your violence. You do your violence and let us know.
Yeah, submit your violence.
Yeah, tell us how you're violent.
Yeah, / qualified nonsense. Yeah.
Tell us your violent
our-
fantasies.
And for those of us that want to subscribe to Patreon, we'll out everybody that puts them on the internet.
That's right.
That's a
that is
$10
right.
tier.
Ooh.
The next question is from the Ask Reddit subreddit from user Delira Saint. They say, what's something people think saves them money but actually loses them money?
Ooh, I love these questions.
Think saves them money, but
Yeah, what's something people think saves them money but actually loses them money?
probably making their own bread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any form of cooking at this point in 2025.
Yeah, I feel like
Expensive
if
as
you
hell.
if you want to make anything, like restaurant quality, it's gonna break
There's
the
a lot of
bank.
waste. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a lot of waste and also a lot of like specialty ingredients that.
Yeah. You have to buy like 19 items in the produce section and then like some high dollar cut of meat or whatever. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these are going to be geared towards consumables, like these answers.
I mean, I would say like long-term loans. Like it
Like
seems
a
like
30-year fixed mortgage.
well, or like a
That
8-year
stings.
like car loans that are we're seeing car loans now that are like 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 years long, and like
Mhm.
that might make the payment lower, but you're paying a lot more in interest in the long run.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not everybody has the liquidity, I guess, to be able to pay things down quickly.
I would say contributing the bare minimum to your 401k seems good now, but it costs you in the long run.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Or investing, period.
I'd also say, like, if you buy stuff only at like the Dollar Tree to save money, because
Yeah.
the quality is crap, and usually you're gonna end up having to replace it several times over if it's something that you use a lot.
Yeah, and generally those are like not the most convenient locations to get to anyway, so you could be spending more gas to get there to try to save a buck.
What do you guys think about like purchasing at Costco? Because you're
Purchasing what?
well, just sort of anything because the idea is bulk, right? And you're paying more for or rather you're paying less for a larger quantity. And I guess for consumables specifically that have expiration dates, how often are you actually getting through your
There's actually,
consumable
I'll put
item?
it in the socials when I find it, but there's actually a website that does that. It's like, is it worth, like the Costco, is it worth it?
Oh, cool.
And so it like compares, I think one of the like lowest performing was bottled water and paper products. It's like one of those you think you're getting a good deal, but it's just because you're getting quantity. Like
Right.
they're not, it's not two
Like
ply, it's one
per
plier.
ounce or whatever,
Right.
it's just the same. Yeah. Or just about the same. What about oh,
Yeah,
you
we've
just
actually
reminded
priced
me
it
of
out,
something.
and like we'll buy our toilet paper from Albertsons because it's like almost the same as Costco,
Mm.
and Albertsons more convenient for us to go to. But anyway, what were you saying, Jake? Sorry.
Oh, I was just trying to think maybe any sort of sale. I haven't done the math on this at all or the investigation on this, but any sort of sale that requires the purchase of more than one, I always am like, sure, it might save you a little bit, but like,
Oh, like 2 for the price of 1.
right, that's well, two for the price of one is good, but oftentimes like it's three and the fourth one's half off or whatever
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
virtually unheard of. Like nobody does BOGO anymore. Except
Yeah.
Papa Murphy's. Papa Murphy's does BOGO. That's the only reason why I know that, because they have that
OG.
phrase
Yeah, I
thrown
feel
around.
like
But like,
I've been seeing a lot
buy
of sales at
3
the grocery
Coke and
store.
you
Like
get one for free. It's like it costs like 2 cents a can to make this shit.
I see a lot of sales at like Fred Meyer where it's like, oh, these are on sale, but you have to buy 10 of them or whatever to get the sale price. And it's like, well, I don't
Right.
need 10 boxes of Kleenex or whatever. Like,
Right. Right.
Brandon harumps down the aisle. Ah, read the fine print down there, sir.
well, it'll be stuff
Grumbling.
that it's like,
That's how they get you.
I mean, not that I'm
That's
using
it.
shampoo at all, but like, it'll be stuff like shampoo. It's like, why would you need to buy like 10 of these? Like, who would?
Right.
You don't have two kid. You don't have 2 other women. Oh no, I guess you do.
I do.
Yeah,
You can say that to me. I don't have two other women.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, they go through the shampoo as it turns out.
What about like holiday sales?
That's
I guess I'm
another, like,
skeptical
gotcha.
of any sale. Yeah.
It's like you could have done this in April, you sack of shit.
Yeah.
You mean like Black Friday type stuff, or
Less well, Black Friday too, but like
Christmas in July.
Amazon like Day or whatever that's called.
oh,
Prime Day.
Prime Day and or like Memorial Day sales or like you know,
I mean, it really only saves you money if it's something you were going to buy anyway. But if you're just shopping just to
right.
But the
shop.
conversation around those is that they actually raise the base price and then
Right.
lower it to the sale price, which is the original base price. It's like you're not. The veil has been
I feel like there's a
lifted.
lot of exactly. I feel like there's a lot of like smoke and mirrors in
Gotcha.
order to
Mhm.
Yeah. Fuck you, Amazon.
Fuck you, Amazon.
You heard it here first.
The top answer here says avoiding doing maintenance on things. Sure, it's cheaper today and it'll probably all be fine tomorrow, but sooner or later it's going to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Yeah, don't ever add more oil. Just get it changed.
Ooh, yeah.
But even like, like going to the dentist, like if you don't go to the dentist for a while and you go after, like a long time ago, I went like 10 years between going to the dentist, and then I ended up having to just get a shitload of work done all in a short period of time.
Yeah.
This person says driving across town to save 3 cents a gallon on gas.
Right. Yeah.
I love those people though. They're so earnest about their savings.
If you're an arts and crafts person, seeing something you want and thinking, I can just make it myself and it'll cost me a lot less. That is the devil whispering sweet lies directly into the tender ear of your hubris. If you don't already have nearly all of the necessary supplies on hand, it will cost you more to make it yourself.
Yeah.
And several trips back to that store.
Yeah.
Home craft
absolutely.
projects of I could save $1 are the exact same of home handy projects of like I could do this at home, and then I have to go to Home Depot 4 different times.
Yeah.
Why pay thousands for a dining room set? I could make my own. I'll just learn woodworking, and then you end up having to buy like $20,000 worth of equipment or whatever.
And 6 months of time.
I'm right now making a frame for Anna.
Jake. Who are you?
No,
crafty
really,
dumbasses.
No. I mean, I'm
Custom
definitely a
framing
victim to
is
this.
such a racket.
Well, yes. However, you just described it. It's tough.
Yeah.
To get square edges is no joke.
Did you have to buy a nail gun too?
I already had one.
Oh, see? Well, there you go.
But I'm working on it, and it's going fine, but it's slow, and it's super time consuming. And I was lucky to have inherited or been bequeathed. No, what is it called? I was given a table saw that my father-in-law didn't. He like upgraded, and he has this little mobile table saw. So I was like, oh great, this will be easy. Famous last words.
But I mean, it's still cool if you still come out in the negative on paying a manufacturer versus doing it yourself, right?
Well, and there's something
yeah, you'll never
to celebrate or to what's that?
You'll never admit it. No, this is great. This is the best experience of my life.
I'm now a framer.
Leaving my job.
This is my identity.
Portugal was cool, but I don't know.
I'm gonna take those down and put frames in their place.
So is it like super frustrating? Like you make a cut and then you make a cut on another board and like try to put the edges together, and it's like, why I'm doing the exact same cut? Why are they different? And
I did a cut today where I did one of the angles like this, and then I did the other angle like this. So instead of making like a because you do one in order to put a 45 degree like this, I did it like that. I made it so that basically I cut it the opposite way that it was supposed to make a right angle.
It down. Like you were gonna like make it like her like a poster frame, and then it ends up being like a wallet size frame.
Well, I had more lumber, but I started with a sheet.
Sorry, guys, your billboard is now a postcard.
I had a sheet of wood that was like rough edged, probably like 12 or 14 inches, and I'm down to the very last. Like I can't mess up very many more times before I have to go back.
But you know what? Good on you for continuing to do something you want to do. I mean, that's kind of that truly is one of the dying arts. You know, everybody talks about like, well, everybody wants 4 degrees, but nobody wants to go be an electrician. It's one of those things of like, hey, nobody wants to be doing this. Nobody wants to be like resoling shoes anymore, right? But when Brandon, you say it's such a racket, it's not a racket. It's just that nobody knows how to do it anymore, and they demand the market share for what it costs.
Well, like every Michaels has a framing center. I don't know, but
yeah, but that shit's still expensive.
Yeah, it's like $400 to have something custom framed.
A concert poster
Michaels.
done. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah,
got feelings about that myself.
And I only have to do, if I do it, I could do it for only $500. So, who's laughing now, Michaels?
That's with a original and realistic quote of $250, but the realistic quote is $500.
This person says renting a storage unit.
Oh.
And then in the reply, they say, over the course of 20-ish years, my wife spent $13,000 to store $200 worth of stuff that she threw away when she decided to stop renting the unit.
Jesus.
That's painful. Hoarding. Oh, you know what? Hoarding. It doesn't save you emotional money. There's an emotional tax and a space tax.
I can't talk about that subject and not get emotional. This house struggles with being able to let things go, and I love nothing more. They won't actually put a dumpster at my house to like clear a bunch of shit out because the angle of our driveway is too great. I was like, oh, I just want to throw shit away. I want to pay you money to throw shit away. Sorry, guy.
Yeah, our garage is crammed with shit.
Anyway, next question.
Oh, that's been an episode.
Yeah, but really, that's
yeah.
it's about been an episode.
Man.
Well, listener, let us know ways that you save money.
I don't even remember what the question was.
What's something people think saves them money but actually loses them money?
Yeah.
So if you have an answer, let us know.
What do you think about
listening
that,
to this show? You think it's going to save you 45 minutes of your time, but it costs you an hour and a half.
But if you're a patron for $5 a month, that's a wise investment.
Oh yeah, we should have worked that in better.
You would definitely not be losing money, that $5 a month.
Value add to your life.
You'll be gaining parasocial relationship.
Dividends. Checks in the mail.
You get to know us. Like, know us.
Come in and know me better, man.
Ooh.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please support the show over at Patreon at patreon.com/qualified nonsense. Once again, watch us over on YouTube at youtube.com/@qualified nonsense. Feel free to send any questions or comments to qualifiednonsense@gmail.com or hit us up on our socials found in the episode description. After you've done all that, please rate, review, share, like, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice. We'll see you back here next week for another brand new episode of Qualified Nonsense.
Adios.
Bye.